Nice guy flirted with me knowing I was 14. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some of the recent r/NiceGuy stories posted on Reddit. Nice guy flirted with me knowing I was 14. So this happened when I was 14 a couple of months ago. I was on Discord chatting with friends when I got a friend request from a guy I'll call Hunter. So I accept and try and text him something to say hello. My butterfingers accidentally pressed the call button, and as soon as that happened I hung up. I sent him a text explaining my mistake and apologizing if I interrupted his day, and then he texts back. We talked for an hour before the subject of how we looked came by. I gave him a description of one of my OC's ex, long black hair and blue eyes. Bad mistake, he starts saying how I sound so sexy and he would love to get to know me. When I tell him my age he sorta backs off, like a normal person who doesn't want a felony would do. I say we could be friends and he accepts, but he would keep bringing the convo to a sexual route. At some point I told him about my best friend/girlfriend, now we're actually dating, and he gets confused due to me telling him I'm female. I explain that it was kind of a joke in our friend group, at the time it was, and he doesn't bring it up again. So by now I ask how he looks like, and instead of giving me a description he sends a photo. My poor eyes gazed upon the greasiest, probably smelly, neckbeard fellow. He looked 30. He was wearing a Whole Food uniform and I commented about how I would love to work anywhere with food. He then says that he'd like a pic of me, but I told him that my parents wouldn't like that. Then starts a convo where it's basically him telling me, asking how mad my parents would be if they knew I was talking to him. I told him as long as it was PG-13 then I wouldn't need to tell my parents, they worry a lot. The convo keeps getting sexual and me reminding him that I'm fucking 14. He then tells me that he loves me, after talking to me for 3 hours max, and how I would be such a good girlfriend and my parents wouldn't have to know. I told him off for that and he apologized for making me uncomfortable, but then asked if I could say I loved him just to satisfy him. I kept telling him no and now considering ending our whole friend thing before ultimately giving up and saying it, also a bad idea. He starts up again with the sexual shit and keeps telling me that he loves me too much but can't because I'm a minor, and I mean yeah I'm 14 dude, of course not. He then asks me if I felt anything when I told him I loved him. I said no. He kept pushing it and I finally told him off for what I thought was the final time. He asks why I don't want to be with him. I tell him he's too old and also throw in some reasons why I hate myself, appearance-wise. He tells me off about me being beautiful and sexy. I tell him off about not calling me that and said that all the stuff I said about myself were my opinions, and then come the threats of committing the die. I try and tell him not to. He keeps saying it and by now I've had enough. I yell at him through text about how he is a manipulative maniac and that I hoped he did kill himself and blocked him. I ran into a nice guy, and I escaped. I'm a college student with no vehicle, so I pretty much have to walk or bike to places. No big deal. Well, I was in the campus math building, about to leave and enter the elevator because asthma was kicking my ass that day. I look over and see this skinny white guy that looks like McCready from Fallout 4. I decided to be polite and strike up a convo because I'm socially awkward and I'm trying to be social. Anyways, Jay and I get to talking and he basically started walking me to class and giving me hugs. I thought, hey, I made a friend. Guess you could say I'm not the best with picking up social cues. After a while, Jay started giving my sister and I rides to school and he kept insisting. We thanked him, but told him he didn't have to. We thought it was a one-time deal, but he seemed like he could never take no for an answer whenever we told him. He didn't have to drive us every single day. I am very thankful I got rides to school, don't get me wrong, but still, I even miss just walking to school and having a peaceful walk. You know you dislike a person if you'd rather walk, so we had to rush each morning since he'd pick us up early. Well, one morning my hair was, still is, super fluffy and curly like Merida from Brave. This dude had the audacity to full-on pet my hair and say it's so soft and fluffy. That really gave me the creeps and I didn't know what to do. So I backed away, put up my hand and he stopped. Also, this isn't the only time he's gotten handsy and touchy. Jay and I were walking with another guy and this girl named Danny. Danny shows us a pic of her pregnant sis and Jay wrapped his arm around my shoulder all tight and said, "Oh, what your body can do." I pushed his arm off and nervous laughed saying, "Ha, no way. Never." Another time I was with my best friend who we'll call Zeke. Well, I was playing around with Zeke in the campus library and trying on his hat. Well, Jay looked like he was losing his mind over this and took off Zeke's hat and was gonna put his hat over my head. I dodged the hat so fast and hard, lol. Also, Zeke and I are boyfriend and girlfriend now, so that's a happy ending, but when Zeke and I were just friends, he was so tempted to tell the creep off, but I told him I'd say sayonara to Jay. Then quarantine happened. Also, Zeke later on told me that he was creeped out by Jay and had bad vibes about the dude. Anyways, the things Jay would do would be full on hugging all up on you, to the point where his junk was touching you, and say creepy things or say how beautiful and gorgeous you were. I stopped talking to him a little before quarantine started. A mutual friend of Jay and I told Jay that I wasn't interested. In addition, Jay was also interested in said mutual friend. Jay would just creep on any girl that gave him the time of day and make suggestive remarks. Jay also would pick on me and call me bitch or wet socks, from walking in the rain. Also, whenever he laughed, it sounded fake and like if SpongeBob was a frail, dying goose. Overall, Jay hasn't said a thing to me and I'm happy. I feel like Andy Dufresne escaping Shawshank with my arms stretching up to the sky. Hope this story was easy to follow and thank you for reading this. Nice guy showed up to my dorm unannounced and threatened suicide when I rejected him. This was the first semester of university, made a friend group in one of my classes and we'd hang out and do work together. I was one of the 2 girls in this group and was the only one single. This nice guy instantly got a crush on me and I pretended not to notice as most of the guys flirted with me, but I figured it was just because I was the only single girl. He then showed up to my dorm 2 hours before our class one morning and asked me to show him around. I did not invite him, nor did I know he was coming. He also kept asking when he could come over again. One day after class I left early because I was feeling down and he followed me out. He then proceeded to show me a chat between him and his other friends about how they can't believe someone who looks like me likes him back, and there was even a screenshot picture of me with a red circle drawn around my breasts as they joked about my cleavage. He also had sent a screenshot of the other girl from the study group where she was in a bikini. He then asked me out and I said I wasn't looking to date and went home. After I rejected him, that night he sent a message to the study group chat about how he's going to kill himself. Only one guy in the group knew what happened and he messaged me, "Why don't you just go on one date with him? He's a nice guy." Anyways, he never went through with it, and actually tried that tactic a few more times until they stopped inviting him to study sessions. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.